We're in Burketown, in northeastern Queensland, northwestern Queensland.
Northwest Queensland's Gulf Country.
In Gulf Country, with Richard Martin. Well, Richard, tell us a little bit about the research that you're doing up here in the Gulf Country.
Okay, well, I am researching across the Gulf Country with Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people, looking at a number of issues, but I'm particularly interested in what indigeneity means within this society today. So, how Aboriginal people feel about their cultures and traditions, which is, as we've heard and we've discussed with people this week, date back in this region many thousands of years and are continuing in a recognisable form into the present and into contemporary lives which are just as complicated as people's lives in Brisbane or in Sydney or anywhere else today, but also interested in how the idea of indigeneity resonates or relates to the experiences of the broader population of the Gulf Country. So people with ancestries that include forebears of Chinese descent, forebears, European forebears, settler histories, people who came into this country as pastoralists, and in the whole range of professions and occupations that people undertake today. So what indigeneity, this powerful international concept, how it relates and articulates with the contemporary life and politics of the Gulf Country.
Way back in the day when our ancestors or forefathers, they all got together, and especially here when the missionaries first started, and instead of being around and have a mission within the community, what they asked the missionaries to do was to actually go back out and they said, we'll follow your God, but you got to take us out of here and put us back on country. So they did. They went back out and they took them back out on country and started teaching them about the gospel and that. And but one of the things they couldn't take out of them was their culture. And although they have tried, and weren't allowed to use culture or use our language in the day. So what they did was always snuck away and still practice their ceremonies and done their culture. And I suppose by doing that, we still hold our culture and we owe it to them, but they also had a vision, and it started from way back then, and this one day to own their lands back. And from way back in the day when they first started getting information and gathering stuff together so we can get our lands back, one of their visions was to actually, once they get the land back, was to actually manage it. And a lot of them old people who gave evidence and started the whole movement, I guess, never ever lasted and passed away before this day actually comes. So obviously they put it there and didn't want to be selfish, so they said, well, we'll hand all this knowledge on. So, and we're still doing it today for future generations. So by all of that came, we got our determination, we got our lands back. And then one old fellow said, well, the work's just starting to begin. We've done a lot in the past, but it's just starting, the work's just starting. So by getting back out, and we created what we are now, which is Gungalita Corporation. We own all the land, so now by managing it, we had to start a land and sea management unit. And with the rangers, myself and that, we all come out of that. Got our, and what we brought to a lot of things is marrying our ancient traditions and our culture with modern day science. So marrying them together to get the best outcomes on country and to look after it so it can be sustainable for many generations to come.
Native title as it exists in the law of Australia is about recognising rights and interests in land, types of tenure that people possess and have continued to possess since colonial experience. So people aren't getting given rights, but they're having their existing rights in the land recognised. If people have continuously hunted and fished, despite the transformations of colonialism, of working in the pastoral industry, of having a job in a modern town, if they've continued to practice these customs, which might mean going to a certain place and fishing, it might mean undertaking some ceremonial responsibility of relating to the Dreamtime, of doing certain practices that might affect the increase of fish in a place, then native title allows Australia, the Commonwealth, to recognise and that practice.